Hello everyone, this is Javamonk, and welcome to episode 57 of my survival series. So, this episode, we're going to focus it on improving some things, as well as completely refurbishing some things. And one of those things that we're going to improve is this 3x3 piston door. This absolutely ugly piston door that's just looks completely out of place. There's redstone all over the place, and it takes up a lot more area than a 3x3 piston door really should. So, we're going to fix that. We're going to put in a one wide 3x3 piston door design over here, and upstairs over here, as I discovered last episode in a rather embarrassing way, this absolutely ancient brewing stand mechanism does not work at all in the slightest. So, we're going to fix all that. We're going to refurbish this and turn it into something that actually functions. And we're also going to swap out the 3x3 piston door. So first, the piston door. So here I am in the test world to display two of the things that I'd like to refurbish. So it's not just going to be the 3x3 piston door and the brewing stand. I'd also like to refurbish the flying machine to the giant sky island above the mansion. So, and not that mansion. That was from episode 50. So here's a design by Mumbo Jumbo, or at least shown by Mumbo Jumbo. And this is a super fast, one wide 3x3 piston door that uses a lot of observers and is ridiculously compact. This is amazing. This is what I'm going to build this is what I'm going to build as the entrance to the mansion. I hope it works with lag. The next thing is this flying machine right here, because the current flying machine design is this here. I tried to put in a mechanism to pull apart the elevator. So let me just find a button here. All I gotta do is activate this observer. There we go. And then the flying machine flies down. So first off, this thing is massive, but it does have an elevator cell. Except, except that's not actually what I want. A couple episodes ago, I was transporting villagers with this elevator, and it kept killing them. I eventually managed to get it to work, but it wasn't pretty. So we're just going to swap out this design completely. Not going to use it. Instead, we're going to put in this mechanism here, which is much simpler. All we got to do is just press the button at the bottom here. This is just a one flying machine that can go up and down. It's got carpets on top, so it does have some... It can bounce a little bit, but well, actually, that's the point. It doesn't bounce at all. There's no bounce going on whatsoever, and then I can just send it back down. But the fact that it uses carpets and this observer here means that the villagers won't be bouncing up and down, and therefore have pretty much no chance of suffocating at all. In fact, let me just summon a villager in a minecart. Okay, villager in a minecart. Going down the elevator. Nice and smooth, no suffocation going on. So, all in all, pretty cool. Then again, that other elevator design does pretty much the same thing. But now going up is much safer. Here we go. Going up, the villager just rides along with the carpets. I can also put trapdoors there if I want to. But there we go. This is what we're going to build, and just completely swap out the elevator. There we go. Okay, it's long past due that this zombie finally gets a name. And I think since this is a zombie, I'm thinking naming him based on a one-line joke. So, I'm hoping this will actually fit. Here we go. I'm thinking, what's the difference between a good joke and a bad joke timing? The Dang it. Okay. Gotta find a short one-line joke. Perfect. So I can just say Velcro is a ripoff. There we go. Badum-chin. Here we go. Mr. Zombie, you are now named based on a one-line joke. That is an absolute groaner. Okay, now I'm going to move this zombie. So this is why I took off my armor, because all my armor has thorns. Okay, and I think I'm just gonna trap him in glass panes like this. So here we go. I still can't really find a better place to put the zombie, but this is a once again this'll just do for now. Okay. Uh-oh. And there's a golden armored zombie trying to follow me. Or trying to track me. Get back. I don't have armor. Get back, please. There we go. Okay, nobody else? Good. Okay. Hey man. Come over here. Uh-oh. Who's chasing me? Ah! Good grief, that scared me. Here we go. Fine, I'll just put on these gold leggings so that I have at least some sort of armor. Okay. Now you, Mr. Zombie. I guess I'm just gonna have to use the fishing pole. Here we go. There we go. Ah! Uh-oh. And of course he escapes. Oh man, this was a bad idea. That was a lot more work than it should have been. So finally, Mr. Bad Joke here has his own cell. So here we go, with his name being Velcro is a ripoff. And now, let's get back inside and use this piston door for the final time before it is completely revamped. One side effect of swapping out the piston door like this is that there's no longer going to be a convenient little button on the floor. Instead, there will have to be an input from the top, because that's how this particular piston door works. So right now I'm removing all the remnants of the previous piston door, including the mechanism to open it, because that is no longer going to be usable. So this particular the actual material for the door and what the door itself is going to look like, it goes back to kind of a really old vision I had of this mansion, in which the outside is kind of haunted and gloomy, which the exterior of the mansion already provides from its generated structure, but the inside is homey and cheerful, and the piston door provides a break between the two. So that is what I intend to do with this piston door here. And now so prismarine bricks, in my opinion, kind of serves as a good medium, kind of a good in-between block for these purposes. So let's just break out some of this wood, and then build up the piston door. Okay, the bottom portion of the piston door is complete, and also the input part. I'm gonna have to figure out an input for this side as well. Okay, so now all we gotta do is just pillar up, and then finish building this. This is a surprisingly easy thing to build. So here we go. Just need one observer there, two observers there, and yeah, this is really, really easy, super compact. I just absolutely love it, and I really hope that it works with this extreme lag. How am I going to place the repeater there? And with that, the door is complete. So, surprisingly easy and super simple, super compact. Once again, I absolutely love it. I just hope it works. Here we go. Goodbye, zombie. And now, let's place in all the blocks and test this thing out. Kind of nervous for this. And we need a block there. Here we go. Okay then. Turns out the reason why this didn't work is because of a really silly mistake. I missed a sticky piston right here. Okay, and now it should work. Let's test it. Here we go. And still doesn't work. I wonder why that is. And it works! Ta-da! So the other problem that I ran into was the fact that, first off, I was missing a couple blocks here and there that were actually quite important. And secondly, this lever here was only powering the redstone on top of the dropper, not this repeater line. But now, it all works. So now what we've got to do is figure out how to actually wire in an input here, because in the off state it is open, but in the other state but when it's on, it is closed. And that's going to cause a problem because I don't want this door to be open by default. I want it to be closed by default. So we got to figure out a way to close this after, basically put in a way to close it behind me, or at least be able to close. I'm wondering how I'm going to do that. Okay, here is the mechanism. So you just press this button, and the door opens, and then the door closes. So I just have a button wired up to an observer, wired up to this redstone block mechanism here. So next up, we just gotta get outside and put in basically the same mechanism. So we're just gonna have an observer sticking out, but that's okay. Here we go. Let's just... There we go. Gives me plenty of time to get out the door. Here we go. And now what I need is now I just gotta somehow get an observer pointing towards that piston, and that might be a little bit challenging. Especially since I can't seem to be able to place blocks. There we go. We now have a mechanism to open the... Whoops, wrong way. Okay, let's get the redstone block where it needs to be. There we go. So now I can just open the door. I don't think that's enough time to actually get to the door. Yeah, it's definitely not enough time. Let's just swap this out. Here we go. Run across and get a wooden button, since those seem to last longer. Here we go. Now, will this work? Okay, that seems like enough time to get through. So now what we gotta do is just cover up all the redstone, and also maybe put a little, maybe bulge this out a little bit so that it covers up all the pistons. And also remove the windows and replace with some other block. I must say, covering up redstone for a one-wide contraption is much easier than covering up the redstone for whatever beast of a piston door that I had before. Okay. Here we go. Let's just get some extra blocks in here. And basically just have the observer having the observer stick out. That's really it. And then you can even cover up all these pistons here. No worries, no problems whatsoever. Here we go. And almost there. Yeah, we definitely gotta patch up this hole here, because anything can slip through there. Okay, and then on the outside, I'm just gonna remove all the windows and do basically the same thing. Here we go. Man, building like this really depletes the jungle wood supply. Yeah, I'm already out of jungle wood, but I only need 4 more, so no big deal. I'm also gonna need some carpets here. And it's nighttime outside according to my clock, so I'm just gonna go to sleep for a little bit. There we go. No more redstone sticking out. And now I just gotta reach up and press that button. And run through. And there we go. That's pretty cool. It's almost a 3x3 spiral door, which is even cooler. Okay, now I'm just gonna get 2 pieces of purple carpet and a couple more pieces of red carpet. And then we can call this project good. Okay, let's now go upstairs and fix this brewing station. This is a mess, to say the least. So I'm just going to completely remove it, because it did not work at all. Never really did work. So this absolutely ancient contraption is now going away. Completely. We're going to completely scrap it and redo it, because, yeah, this didn't work at all. So here's the idea for a new and improved brewing stand system. So, what we're going to have is a bunch of brewing stands, just like this. This is just a little mock-up of what I want. So, each one of these brewing stands are going to be brewing potions, but each brewing stand might be brewing a different potion. And that would all be controlled with a dropper. Here we go. So there's going to be one dropper right here. All it's going to do is you place the item into the dropper, and it will put that item into the first brewing stand available. So then once it's done brewing, you can then put another item into the dropper and plop it into this next brewing stand. If this brewing stand is currently brewing, then it moves on to the next brewing stand. Or if this brewing stand cannot put anything new into it. And that will be controlled using a different set of levers. And using these different set of levers, I'll be able to control which brewing stand gets which ingredients in each stand. And it's all going to be controlled just with this one dropper. And I'm just going to have a chest full of a whole bunch of different potion ingredients. So, nice and simple, and hopefully it will work. So, since I have bazillions of hoppers, I figured we might as well just build a system that kind of looks like this. So I'm going to have 9 brewing stands all lined up just like this. So each of these brewing stands need access to water, and that can come in through a set of hoppers on the side. Kind of like that. And then for the ingredients, we need to make it so that there's a stream of hoppers here that we can then block off whenever there's an item that's about to come through. So to do that, first off, we gotta actually get an output from those hoppers. Okay, now let's just get a whole bunch of comparators. Here we go, and bop. Okay, so we're gonna get a signal from each of these comparators. From each of these hoppers. Then we also need a way to block off the stream. And unfortunately, that'll probably also block off the stream of water bottles, but that's okay. I don't need water bottles flowing in constantly. Okay, here we go. Ta-da. Now, to actually turn off these hoppers, I'm going to need a line of blocks here, and I think redstone torches should do the job here. So this is the best way I could think of, since I'm going to need an output from these hoppers over here, and since it's one-way tileable, I don't have the option of going off to the side. So yeah, it's gonna block off the hoppers temporarily, but that's okay. Here we go. And last torch. There we go. Now let me just get some redstone. There we go. So this redstone here can be connected to a button that I just press whenever I want to activate the brewing system. So let's see. Just get a button here. And if we press it, then all of those redstone torches should go off, and that will, well, that would first off allow water bottles into the brewing stands. I'm not sure how many would be allowed. Hopefully all 3 of them will be pushed through. But if not, then I'm just going to have to push that button several times. We'll put a pulse extender in. But the main point is it drops these ingredients into the brewing stands so that they all start brewing at the same time. So now from here, I'm going to need to put in a vertical stream of hoppers so that the ingredients can drop into each brewing stand. And a little while later, I have this design right here. So yeah, I did have to briefly go into the test world to figure out how to get this working, but now I think it works. So here's the idea. Let me just, oops. Did not mean to set off a power clock like that. Okay. So if I drop an item into this hopper right here, then it should stop any more items from entering here. And that's actually one of the things I had to figure out was these hoppers had to be turned sideways so that the redstone blocks would actually work. And then once I press the brewing button, once I press the button to actually start the brewing process, then it will take the items out of here. So there we go. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to actually access the brewing stand inventories, but hopefully I won't need to. And if I ever do, I could just put the comparators on top of slabs. Okay, so now that we have this system up and running, I think we can put in some sort of water stream, as well as a distribution system for the water bottles. And also, so for that to work, I'm going to need to put this button up above the redstone wire like this. There we go. And then, let's see. So we can have a minecart with a chest running back and forth across here to distribute the water bottles. I can have a regular water stream going across here to distribute the items, distribute the ingredients. Okay. Let's put that in. Okay. I put in the minecart chest as well as a rail system to distribute all the water bottles. So now I can just place some ice right there, and that'll generate some water. I already have some water bottles from the previous brewing stand that I'm now going to use some of them to fill up this chest, and then get some more water bottles and fill up this brewing system. And then I'm going to need to put in the ingredients distributor. Before we put the item distribution system in, and before we activate the water bottle system, as I was reminded when I pressed that button, was I need a way to stop these hoppers from sucking up whatever water bottles I put in here. So, to make sure that the potions don't get prematurely sucked out of the stands, I think I'm just going to put in a system kind of like this. There we go. It's nice and simple, and here we go. So that should disable all of these hoppers. And now, all we gotta do is just hook up a redstone signal right here, and a lever. Ta-da! So now I can just power that lever whenever I want to just remove all the potions. And there we go. And now we need to light this place up. Okay. Now, let's put in the water distribution system, the water-based item distribution system. So let me just get some glass panes and water. Okay, so this item distribution system is it's gonna be kind of like a water-based item sorting system, except I'm not actually gonna be sorting anything. But the concept is the same, and when blue ice comes around in 1.13, systems like this will be much, much faster. I'm really excited for update 1.13. I hope you guys are as well, because it's got a lot of features in there that I always kind of knew I wanted, but how didn't really know how they would turn out. Didn't really have an idea of how exactly they were going to do it. So these are things like tridents. I always wanted an underwater weapon, or something to propel me through the air. And the added bonus of the trident being able to strike lightning is rather interesting. I have that in the self-made mod, which, by the way, I have a series ongoing about that. And as you saw in the first episode, I have a specific lightning sword designed specifically to strike lightning. So now that the trident has that ability, the lightning sword is really just going to be a simpler way to be able to gain the ability to strike lightning. Which means I should probably make the recipe more complicated, or at least make the materials for the recipe more difficult to obtain. Okay, here we go. Now all I need is a way to get items into here, which that shouldn't be too difficult. Actually, that's going to be very difficult. I suppose I could just put in a dropper. And I need ender pearls. Here we go. Whoops. Didn't mean to place that. Here we go. Let's see. So I'm just going to place a dropper into that water stream there. So let's see. Let's just break this up here. There we go. And we need a dropper right there. Okay. So now this dropper here should just be able to drop whatever items come through it. And to do that, I'm going to need to put in an auto dropping circuit, or auto dispensing circuit. Let's see. Gotta get down here again. Okay. I just need one comparator. And then I also need to be able to put in I also need to put in a stream of hoppers. Here we go. I think that should be enough of a stream. So whenever I want to put ingredients in, I could just jump up here and put them in, and then they will distribute into each of these brewing stands. And I can put in a different ingredient too, which is pretty cool. And each brewing stand will handle those ingredients based on what I put in there. So in that regard, it's going to be kind of a system that doesn't really know what it's doing. Like it's not going to be able to stop itself if there aren't enough ingredients or anything like that. It's almost entirely user controlled, but it is super awesome. It sounds pretty awesome because it'll make the distribution process a lot simpler. So now all we need is just an auto dispensing circuit. Let's just ender pearl up here. And here we go. Now how am I actually going to get the dropper to dispense things? Maybe if I put the circuit over here. Okay. This could be a bit of an issue. Let's see, it looks like I may have to use an observer clock based auto dispensing circuit. Here we go. Okay. Now I gotta just ender pearl back up here. Using a lot of ender pearls with this. But that's not a problem, because I have an enderman farm. Okay. Here we go. A trick for quick swapping. Holding down right and left click at the same time. Okay. And now I just need an observer facing this way, and an observer facing this way. And there we go. Now we have an auto dispensing circuit. So I think it is time for the grand test to see if this will work. And I think I'm going to fill this up. I think I'm going to just brew 27 water breathing potions. But first, let's actually make so that it will accept shock boxes, or it will automatically fill shock boxes. So I came down to the kind of the base of operations and discovered that my water breathing box is empty. I haven't used it in a while, but that doesn't really matter. The point is, it's empty. So, and actually, I don't need to place the shock box sideways. I can just place it vertically. Here we go. So now, I gathered the materials to make 27 water breathing potions. Here we go. The ultimate test. I already AFK'd a lot at the blaze farm and put in 64 blaze powder in every single brewing stand. That was a lot of AFKing, but that'll probably last me a very long time. So this system is already filled with water bottles, so now let's test this out. Here we go. First, the nether wood. I probably shouldn't have done that. Yeah, I probably should not have done that. Yep. Okay. So this only, I guess this only really works in the if you just put in one item at a time, but that's okay. Here we go. Gotta make sure that the items are actually processed and that each brewing stand only gets one of these items. So there we go. There's the third netherwood. I'm just gonna keep doing this and then press the brew button when I'm ready. Okay, the stand is now, the system is now ready. So all I gotta do is just press this button right there, and that will release the items, and also it will start the brewing process. So now there's going to be a very loud sound that signals that it's all been brewed, almost at exactly the same time. Okay, here we go. Almost ready. And beautiful. Okay, 9 brewing stands finishing brewing all at the same time. Now that I think about it, I think I should swap out that clock mechanism, the auto-dropping mechanism, to make it intentionally slower. In fact, let me do that right now, because that'll make the item distribution much simpler. Let's see. I'm just gonna need a bunch of repeaters, and I'm probably also gonna need some blocks to actually build this on. So here's the incredibly complicated slow clock. Here we go. Does this work? Okay. Well, it is a slower clock, so... In fact, that's a very slow clock, but that's okay. I can always speed it up by decreasing some of the tick rates of the... by decreasing some of the delay on the repeaters. In fact, let me do that right now. Like, for example, this repeater can be at 2 ticks. There we go. Okay. Perfect. So, and now, let's just press the brew button. Here we go. And then they're all gonna start brewing once again. During which time I can just plop in the next ingredient right here. And then wait until I hear the incredibly loud brewing finish done sound, that's a really cool, there it goes. That's a really cool addition, the ability to listen for when a brewing stand finishes, because that was a 1.9 addition, and I remember the times when one time I tried to build a brewing station. It sort of looked like this, but I couldn't tell that the potion's finished because there wasn't the sound to indicate that. So now this water breathing will soon finish, and then I can test out the release mechanism. Okay, we now have all these lengthy water breathing potions all brewed up. So now I'm going to get them into this water breathing box. But first, I'd like to do one thing, and that being swap out that lever for a button and put in a pulse extender. Here we go. And this way, don't accidentally forget to turn it off. So let's see. And I need a pulse extender because I did some testing earlier, and with at least with this water stream, and I just put 3 items into the back hopper over there, and it would not make it all the way across on just one button press. So I'm gonna need to add in a pulse extender. Let's see. I haven't built one of those in a very long time, because I haven't needed one. I think you build it like this. Yeah. I think I'm just gonna build a repeater-based one. Maybe that's not how you build it. How do you make a pulse extender anyway? You can build a 3D printer, but not a pulse extender. That's just sounds ridiculous. I guess like this. Yeah, I really don't know what I'm doing. I think this is how you build a pulse extender. I think. I don't know. And that block's gonna power. That block over there is gonna end up powering the hopper. So I'm just gonna replace it with the dot of redstone. Okay. Let's just swap this out with a redstone dot. There we go. Okay. And now, let's release the potions. Here we go. Did that work at all? Okay, I got some of the potions out. I do remember seeing once, there was a pulse extender that kind of works like an ether hopper clock, but with regular pistons instead of the sticky ones. Let me see if I can build one of those. Let's see. There we go. So then... So if I were to place a redstone block here, and then put, say, 62 items, then it would slowly drain out. And I'm gonna try to speed up that process. Okay. So then... Okay. Shouldn't this be extending? Okay. So I guess this just needs a way to update the piston, I guess? I really don't know. Okay, I'm looking on the wiki right now, and turns out I had the right idea, but I just didn't execute it right. So, here, I need one sticky piston, right there, and then this redstone block needs to be... Okay. Oops. Let's get this item out. Here we go. I need a redstone block here, and then the output comes out of this redstone signal over here, which I can just wire up nice and quickly. Okay, so this hopper clock right here, if I press this button, what? Why didn't that work? Okay, I finally managed to get it to work. So now all the potions that are in here should be released with the press of this button right here. And I think I can decrease the number of items here. So let's just press that button. And so this output line over here is just gonna, it's going to last long enough to just release all the items into the shulker box. Here we go. And now we have all the potions that we brewed up into the shulker box. And I think I can cut the number of items in here in half again. Okay, there we go. Cool. So this brewing system now works. Okay, I'm gonna check the time on the video. Okay, this brewing system is now completely empty, and my shulker box is now full. So to put more water bottles into the system, I can just press the brew button once without any ingredients in it, and that will just put all 3 water bottles in. Okay, and then I can just run this hopper minecart back and forth again, and it'll distribute the water bottles to it. Okay, in fact, I can run it right now. So there we go. This brewing system, the ancient brewing system, it was now remodeled and made better. And also, the ancient piston door at the front of the mansion, right down here. This ancient piston door is now not so ancient. Now it's cool. Okay, so I think that's going to do it for me. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please let me know. And I will see you next Saturday for another episode in the Survival series. I will see you next Saturday. Bye!